Yo guys, I hope you're doing really well. In today's video, what I want to cover is contracts and how to go about it, what you kind of need to cover within them, how you can create one contract that will suit every single client. You know, you don't ever need to you don't need to ever change the contract, you know, for different clients. You can just literally create one contract and that suits all clients. So first things first is obviously you need to make sure all of your contracts are e-contracts. If you're doing local businesses, I suppose you could print off each contract and then, you know, take it physically to the owner of the business. But still, I would personally recommend you just send them a link, create an e-contract and then just send them the link to that contract. And obviously, if you're doing e-commerce, info product, any online kind of business, then you need to do e-contracts. So for my e-contracts, I use HelloSign. I also tell all of my students and whatnot to use HelloSign, simply because I've used quite a few different ones. As I mentioned in another video, I've used DocuSign and a few other ones, but personally, I have found that HelloSign is definitely the best, simply because it's the most easiest to use. The interface within it is very self-explanatory. And actually, which is the second point that I've got here, you can create something called a template link within HelloSign. And what that means is that you can just literally put that link on your onboarding funnel, on your onboarding process, and then everybody clicks onto that link and signs the contract. You know, you don't need to change the contract as long as you. This is another point that I've got, which I think I'll cover first. So forget the template link for a minute. What you want to do is write your contract in a way that it's not. You want to write your contract in a way that's evergreen. Now, what I mean by that is, you know, you don't ever need to change it depending on what client. So hence, you never want to say the client's name, the client's business, or how much you're charging that client, because obviously it might change between clients. So you just want to make sure that you're saying, you just want to make sure that you're covering what you need to cover. You know, you want to, in terms of my contract, I say what Bax Consulting are going to provide for the business. I cover the cancellation policy that I have, 30 days cancellation and notice. I cover that because, I am creating these ads for the company. They're always going to have them. I say that's where I mention that I don't do refunds of the monthly retainer and whatnot. But at no point I mention the business name, or any business name or anybody's name, or the price that I have charged the client. What I say is the price upon that we have agreed on together. So that way, obviously, it's making it evergreen. I don't need to ever change the contract now that I've made it once. I don't need to change it between each client that I send it to. So that's the first thing. You want to make sure that it's evergreen. And then from there, you can then create a template link within HelloSign. And then you can obviously just add in the section where you need the client to sign and you need them to put their name, which is obviously just at the bottom of the contract. And then just go save template link. And then you've got a link there. That will can be clicked on by absolutely anybody. It could be clicked on by one person or a million people, and you never need to change it. All they do on their end is just click their name and then click to do their e-signature, and that's it. You get a copy of the email, they get their copy of the email, and then that is literally it. And as I said, if somebody else wants to click onto that contract and sign it, they perfectly, they most definitely can, and you don't need to edit it to the new client that you've just signed on, or change any names or change the pricing, because you've not mentioned any of that. And obviously it's still all very legal. It's not legal. The contract, I'm going to go into this point in a minute. The contracts aren't really that big of a deal. But what I mean when I say that they're legal is that it's a legit contract. If you go to any other business and give them this contract, like a law firm or something like that, it's 100% legit, 100% legal. you know, if some of you are wondering like, oh, I need to say the client name or I need to state my price, it's legal to not say that, and obviously you don't want to, because as I said, you can make it evergreen and it just streamlines the onboarding process for your clients. Now, the last kind of point I wanted to mention to you guys is that contracts are frugal. You know, they're so frugal. Really, it's for the client's benefit, not for your or, you know, our benefit, because like, if the client really wanted to leave, or if you know, really didn't want to work with the client anymore, whatever the case may be, it's just a contract. Like, you can just say that it doesn't lock them in a way. Like, obviously it does in terms of if they wanna, you know, if you got a 3-month minimum and they wanna like opt out before the 3 months, and obviously you can say, look, you've signed the contract, it does state in here very clearly that it's a 3-month minimum, etc., etc. But contracts are so frugal, so don't get too hung up on them is what I'm trying to say. Don't get too hung up on them. Just create one that's evergreen, covers what you, you know, your agency is going to provide to the client, whether it be content creation, paid traffic, Facebook ad, you know, whatever it is. You know, you just want to mention that. You want to mention if you do 3-month minimums, and you want to make sure that that's clearly stated in there. And then you want to create that template link within HelloSign. Once again, I've got no affiliate links or anything like that. It's just simply what I use and I tell all my students to use. And yeah, that's basically the overview of contracts. They're really not a big deal. As I said, all my students get my exact contract template. But you know, they're not too big of a deal. Just as I said, make them evergreen. Make them evergreen by not mentioning their names or any prices or anything like that. You want to state very clearly that you do 3-month minimums. You want to mention what you, as the agency, are going to provide, and then you also want to make sure that you mention about refunds and that, you know, because you're creating ads, you can't ever get those ads back. You don't offer refunds. That's kind of the basic overview. And obviously, like I say, make sure you use HelloSign, create that template link, and then they can just literally, like I was saying before, one person could click on the link or 1 million people could. And because you've made an evergreen contract, then it doesn't matter. So I hope that helps with the contracts aspect of, you know, getting a client onboarded. Don't stress too much over it. As I said, contracts are super frugal, so it really doesn't matter. So I hope that was informative, and I hope that helped you guys out a little bit more. If it did, I would love if you guys could subscribe to the channel. Yeah, I will see you in the next video.